I needed to top up the fuel tanks on leaving San Pedro to head out, so I went around up into the commercial area of the docks, and that was past the Harbour Authority and the Coast Guard station. Quite an interesting little trip, in fact. So it's goodbye to Los Angeles for the time being, and it's been a very nice stay actually here. Cabrillo Beach Yacht Club made me very welcome, and as have other people here, other friends, so it's been quite a nice stay. And I've had to wait a bit to get my engine control panel sorted out, but hopefully we'll not hear any more of the screaming that we were getting with the oil pressure alarm giving a false signal. So on our way now to Newport Beach, on to Dana Point after that, on the way to San Diego. And it's about 1:30, I think, on Thursday afternoon, and nice sunshine. Quite a few ships anchored off outside the harbour entrance, the port. Presumably with Christmas coming up, they're giving people a bit of a Christmas holiday, a bit of a rest. Or they might just be waiting their turn in line to load or offload. Looks as though at least one of them has offloaded. He's quite high up on his waterline, and the other one maybe. Anyway, so hopefully they'll have a nice Christmas. Here's one of the red buoys out in the channel leading into the harbour, into the port. And of course it's got the usual cormorants on the top and sea lions all blazing on the bottom on the lower part, as usual. That's quite a normal situation here. The sea lions all get up on there and have a good rest. And then the cormorants up on top there. So yeah, they're enjoying themselves, enjoying the sunshine. We've got 9 knots of wind dead ahead, so we're not going to be sailing today, I don't think. Hazy day today, but relatively warm, so no complaining. I've taken off my warm jumper and feeling quite good. So but about to have some food. I haven't had any breakfast yet, so time I got something to eat today. We passed quite close to one of the very large vessels waiting to load up. Here are some of the others looking the other way towards Los Angeles and Huntington Beach, which we're just passing. So pretty big. This one clearly empty also. That one clearly empty also. So presumably waiting to load up after Christmas. So there's LA in the distance, quite distinctive, and a lot of ships lying to anchor, and the sea, you can see just how calm it is. Some tiny little ripples, almost no wind at all, coming onto our beam. So coming from the south, virtually nothing. Here's an oil rig, just there. In fact, there are 2 oil rigs. These are obviously smaller ones. One there and one over there. So obviously something to avoid. Not a problem. And yeah, we're making good speed, very good speed actually. I'm trying to get to Newport before dark. So I've had to push on a bit because I fueled up. We've got a tank full of fuel, fortunately. And of course I was delayed a bit with the engine control panel being replaced. So that's all done, which is good news. So we've got no more screaming of the oil sensor, but we have no wind to sail by, and we're under motor trying to get to Newport Beach before dark. Shortest day of the year yesterday, so the good news is the days should be getting slowly longer. By about 4 o'clock, we were getting close to the harbour entrance at Newport Beach, passing the long beach outside, and of course there's the harbour inside, a long promontory, 2 long piers stretching out from the beach. Once inside, there were a lot of partygoers. It was getting, I mean, this was almost the day before Christmas Eve, and there were lots of these little tiny boats going all over the place. I had to be really, really careful which way we were heading. Just a quick view around to show what we're looking at. A lot of boaters here. It was wonderful to arrive to such a beautiful sunset, and I just about had light enough to find my way to the harbour, to the Newport Harbour Yacht Club entrance, which was a little bit difficult for me to find, never having been there before. But eventually I got in safely and stayed the night at the club. Was made very, very welcome. Absolutely wonderful, friendly place, and really enjoyable. Had a very good evening, very good night's sleep. In the morning, after a coffee and a chat with some people at the club, I was picked up by a friend and we headed south along the coast road, which was interesting, down past Crystal Cove, I think it was, and Laguna Beach, where a lot of people were busy on the beach playing volleyball and other things. And then through the town, and I had to take a photo of the British telephone box, of course, with that great big octopus on top, and then on past this really hilly countryside. Very, very interesting for me to see it, having never seen this before. I hadn't realised quite how full of canyons, valleys, and hills and valleys, very steep-sided and very rocky, very bare in places. So very, very interesting for me to see all this on the way to Mission Viejo, where I was going to spend a couple of days over Christmas with a good cruiser friend. So here we have the lake at Mission Viejo, Lake Air it was labelled as, although she'd never heard it referred to in the area by that name before, but quite a nice little lake for people to do a bit of dinghy sailing, paddleboarding, kayaking, reasonably big. So that was interesting, and then on past the lake and up into the hills. The views all around were just amazing, with these very, very steep-sided ridges in between adjacent canyons. Christmas Eve today. Happy Christmas, everyone, and Happy New Year. This is a canyon in Mission Viejo. Mission Viejo, meaning the old mission, of course. But very dramatic, deep-sided canyon, and pretty typical of this area, from what I could see. I came up here from Laguna Beach and through Laguna Canyon to get here, and what a beautiful sunny day for Christmas Day coming up tomorrow. I went for a lovely walk around the area, and to the north is the Santa Ana range of mountains, which gives its name to the northeast wind that I suffered coming in to LA, and the Saddleback Mountain, very distinctive high mountain in the middle of the range, the Santa Ana range. I just loved these pine trees that were all around. The needles are so long that it gives the whole pine tree a very soft, feathery look. And these white lamps, which covered the street lamps, the white bells, were so distinctive, and obviously referring to the mission bells. And then we had these lovely red berries alongside the trail, and this wonderful deep orange-red plant, absolutely marvellous ground cover. Later that evening, it was a family party, a family get-together for Christmas, and it was so nice to see the family and the latest addition, the little granddaughter. And then a wonderful, wonderful sunset, clear, clear sky, beautiful sunset with a fine crescent moon high up, too fine to show in the photo.